Hey, you. Hey. Hey, Batman. Get out of here. It's unreal. It's unreal when I really think about it. Every time I turn around, it seems like I'm finding something else from the McFarlane line that I want. I'm pretty careful, and there are definitely things I've missed, like the classic Wonder Woman. I would have loved to have got my hands on the classic Wonder Woman. But, like, I'll buy a Batman, like the Nightfall Batman, and I'll say, that's it. I've got what I want. I have a Batman, I have a Robin, I have a Catwoman. I'm fine. Aside from maybe someday picking up the issue 1000 Superman, I'm really kind of done with McFarlane. Then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, here's some guys that look like barbarians. And I'm like, okay. You got my attention. And then I pick those up, and then they're like, hey, what about some lanterns that build Atrocitus? I'm like, oh, all right, okay. I'm like, what about some of these other lantern guys? I'm like, stop it. I got a lot of other waves I'm worried about. And then they go, hey, Bill, you know how you kind of like to take older figures that you've never really necessarily been happy with, and then get a version that kind of replaces them? And I'm like, what, McFarlane, what? And then he's like, what about first appearance Batman? Wasn't the only reason you kept that figure you don't like because it was first appearance Batman? Okay, McFarlane, you got me. Let's check out the first appearance Batman. Yep, first appearance Batman. I knew this was coming out. I said to myself, chances are I'm not going to come across it in the wild, so I'm not all that worried about it. If it happens, it happens. And then, lo and behold, even though for some reason I can't seem to find anything at Target or anything at Walmart, and all the things that I actually want, I'm always having to go online for, so I figured there's no way I'm going to come across him. I'm not that worried about it. Here he is. Like, first appearance, Batman, awesome, like it is. The boxes, I mean, it's standard. I'm not going crazy about the box or anything like that. What I want to know, oh my, is he good enough to replace the Batman I currently had on my shelf? Because in all honesty, that's the one that's sat up there for probably 4 or 5 years now. And in all honesty, I've never actually liked that Batman. Ever. I kept him because he was first appearance Batman, because it's kind of a novelty, and I do kind of like the first appearance look. But I never liked that figure. Let's see him. And here he is. Couple of things. I like the tiny bat symbol. I do. I like the overall aesthetic of the guy, for what it's worth. And now, what is it exactly? I'm hoping this guy grows on me as the review goes, because so far, I have really bad luck with first appearance Batmans. They just don't seem to work. Is it the idea that the first appearance Batman was designed crappy, and so they don't make good toys? I'm going to answer that question for myself. No, that is not the reason, because we've already seen that they've done unbelievably fantastic Batmans in this line. So whatever they decide to do here, whatever they decided to do, why is the only word that it's look. What? Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about him. That's what I'm here to do. That part is fine. We got the elbow here. It's solid. The hands are all female joint hands. That means that they have the inside here, which means the peg is connected to the wrist. That's all fine. It comes with this wrench. I can't remember what the significance of this is. This the murder weapon of one of the stories? I don't remember. I know that this has significance. And then, of course, he has two of these kind of like kung fu expression hands, and then two just straight karate choppy hands, and these fists. Here's where my problems start early, okay? This... Okay, now that I'm popping him out and everything, okay, that's getting better the more I move him. Well, when I first took him out of the package, that didn't want to move at all. That was bothersome. I was not too happy about that. Leg problems, as usual. I don't know what it is, if it's the way that they package these Batmen or what. And it's not just Batman. It's a lot of the figures that I get from the McFarlane waves. Their legs always seem bowed. How come their legs don't go straight down? Why? Why is it so common for them to be kind of like weird, where I kind of like, just see what I had to do, like where I had to pull them apart and everything to get them. I mean, I got it, but now his leg does this weird kind of unnatural curve right here. I guess the camera's not necessarily showing it, but do you see that? See how it's weird? Like, why is this not, why is it always awkward? Why are the legs always weird? It has to be the way they're packaged, right? Is it the way they're packaged? I don't know. It's weird. It drives me crazy. It's one of those things about the McFarlane Toys that, because like that, the boots, they don't move, so that's not what it is. It is an unnatural curve right here. Luckily, it has decent ankles, so it's getting around that curve. What about the butterflies? Really bad butterflies. Really bad. He's not going to be moving his arms in too much. They gave him a wireframe cape. I mean, does that look good, right? Okay. Two issues. Take this guy up in price if you have to do that. If you have to do it. If he has to go up in price. This is a $20 mainline figure. If that's not enough to do what you need, take him up in price. This needs a better wire. This wire, it's okay. Like, I mean, it'll do all right for what you need it to do, but it does feel a little hindered. It feels like it could be a little more tight of a wire, and maybe it's not even 100% the wire's fault. The cape is bad. It is a bad material. Maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know. The cape feels wrong. It feels nylon-ish or something. No, that's not even the right word. You know the first capes that came out with the Superman and the Batman and the Superpowers line? That's what it feels like. This whole cape feels like that. It's not like a clothy material, and one could argue that maybe that's good because it helps to maintain the effect that the cape is like a more of like a leathery material or something, but I'm not buying it. I don't love the cape's feel. The wire, I guess, is doable for a $20 thing. We could get away with it. It's okay. It's okay. Okay? It's better than this. This Batman that I've had on the shelf forever, I don't like his head. I just don't. I don't like the way this cape that is just super rubber goes around the neck and like gives him like a turtleneck. I don't like it. I don't like how big the bat is because personally I feel like the bat was supposed to be small like it is back there. I don't like the builds of these figures. I know that I get crap for this. There was an age of action figures where they thought they were getting really, really good. And people were loving them. And right around the DC Classics line and the Motu Classics line, this body design was all the rage. I do not like this body design and have not liked it literally ever. In my collection, I don't have like any figures that use this body design because I do not like it at all. I don't like the weird double weird thing on the legs. I don't like the way that like just this weird thing here that we got going on. I don't like it. I've never really been a fan of the way the ab crunch worked back then. It's another reason why sometimes they go, Bill, you gotta open up a Motu Classics. And I'm like, I don't want them. I don't like this body design. It's the reason I wanted to get rid of this Batman to begin with. So now here I am with a chance. The cape is better. Arguably better. That's fine. The bat symbol seems more right. That's fine. The trunks, the legs, most of the McFarlane-y stuff. Because I'm sitting here complaining, right? You're hearing me complain, and you're like, oh, this guy, all he wants to do is complain. Well, let's back it up for a second here. McFarlane stuff at $20, I can forgive a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. As long as the face is decent enough, and I feel like I can get over some of the stiffness, and I feel like as I work it out and get used to the crap factor, it kind of works for me. And most of these figures I just have standing on my shelf anyway, so they're not really that big of a deal. They're almost statues for me anyhow. All of this stuff I can get over. I like this belt. His aesthetic is gripping. It works. I like that. The cape is even something that I can get over. But this head is bad. This brood head, right, where he's looking down, he's brooding and everything, you say, hey, that's pretty good. Here's my problem. He wants to look at you, right? He wants to look up at you, wants to be the Batman. Put your head up. There. Do you see that? There's a hole here. Why is he designed like this? He cannot. This is where his head is natural. If he looks to his right, nope, the head's kind of like coming out of socket. Look that way. You can't turn his head because it creates openings in the neck if you turn his head at all. He just has to always be brooding. He's just always like this, which then offers the question, why give him the super expressive cape if we can never express him in any friggin' way? Which then brings me to the idea that once again, they made a new Batman. He's okay. He will replace this Batman on the shelf, and this guy can kick rocks. But that's still the best Batman they've ever done. In terms of the McFarlane Toys line, the DC Multiverse McFarlane line, that is the best Batman you can buy. Now, for what it's worth, everything I say is subject to argument. Everything. My collection is not your collection, and my likes are not necessarily your likes. You're going to like things that I don't like. I'm going to like things that you don't like. Some things speak to me, some things speak to you. And we will not always meet at the same point. Sometimes we'll meet in the middle. Sometimes I'll be very okay with the things I see. Sometimes I'll understand why some people would like it, but other people wouldn't. This is a bit of a disappointment. It will be added to the shelf as an old item leaves the shelf. That's okay. In the long run, I feel like this is better than the Batman I had of first appearance Batman. But there are real problems with this guy that are hard for me to overlook. Really hard for me to overlook. And if I was to use this guy for a photo shoot, if I was to try to create something or do like a really cool Batman thing, the best part about him is the cape. But the head, that's a problem. if he looks up, this entire area I showed you, it opens up, there's a big hole. If he turns his head, there's a big hole in the back, and right here along the side starts to crease. His head doesn't move. He may as well be he may as well be Michael Keaton Batman. You know, if you wanted to add that feature to Michael Keaton Batman, I don't think I would even complain. It would be strangely accurate. But it doesn't feel right for this. This doesn't feel right. Something feels off about it. I feel like this was a mistake. In terms of how they built it. Some stuff I can look and be okay with. Some stuff I can't. The legs issue, that's prevalent on an awful lot of figures for McFarlane. The body is okay. The body's alright, but I would argue that it would have made more sense on this type of body scale that they get with the Dark Knight. So, with the Nightfall Batman, I know what I meant, but this cape on that Batman would probably be absolute pinnacle for these $20 figures. That's a key point, by the way. These are $20 Batman figures. I think that's important. We are willing to forgive a lot at $20, which is the reason I'm okay with putting him on my shelf and continuing on from this point until someday maybe I find a Batman to take his place. I'm fine with it. And the reason I'm kind of including this in this video is to show you that I got it and not have to worry about it. I'm going to open it. If you want all my talk on Nightfall Batman, I have a Nightfall video for when I open the Nightfall Batman. This, by the way, if I need to add on to that video at all, if you go check it out and you want my views on Nightfall Batman, which I still think is the best Batman ever released in the entire history of the DC Multiverse wave. But that's a personal opinion. This Batman is black and gray, not blue and gray. There. That's all I gotta add to it, guys. That's the reason I don't feel like this figure being a hardcore paint variant. And it's true that I've done those videos in the past where I'm like, check this out. This guy basically just got painted. Aren't we happy? I'm not going to do that video for that Batman because I will blatantly admit, even though I bought it, that is as blatant of a repaint as a blatant repaint can be. But, let's give credit to McFarlane Toys real quick. They didn't lie about it. This is specifically Batman, Nightfall, black suit variant. That's not an accident. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. So, because of that, I'm not mad at it. You see, I'm not mad at it. I have no reason to be mad at it. It's exactly what it promised to be, and it's honestly, I almost felt like a putz when I was buying it. I'm going to be very honest with you. I picked it up off the shelf. I was looking at it. I said, I'm getting that first appearance Batman. Do I really need to buy a black suit variant? And I put him down and I walked away. He was the only one, by the way, so when I put him down, there was a real chance somebody was going to come behind me, pick him up, and I wasn't going to get him. But then, I come back, I'm kind of walking around. I went and I got like a coffee, and I'm kind of walking around. I'm waiting for an hour to pass so I can go pick up my wife from what she's doing. And I looked at him again, and I was like, damn it. I can't help it. I love this Batman from this line. I love it. First off, that was like my favorite Batman. Nightfall Batman. That era, that art, that design, that Batman, that look, that blue, that gray, that oval, that's perfect. And the argument, does it work better in blue and gray? Does it work better in black and gray? That's always a solid argument because there's argument to be made on both fronts here. And because I really love that body design, because I really love what they did, and because I do feel like it's an honest, straightforward, best Batman in the current line of Batmans released in the entire DC Multiverse run. Black paint job? Yeah, I bought him. His gray is a little bit darker as well, but yeah, I bought it. And you know what? My common joke is to say I bought it because I'm a putz. In this case, I'm going to tell you I'm not a putz. Because after buying this Batman, I feel like I'm justified in buying good Batmans. I'm actually more of a putz for buying a Batman whom I had hopes for because he was first appearance, and I could not notice his neck was messed up. This is not just my version, by the way. It's not just my figure. They did this on this body with this head on purpose for some reason. I am not a negative toy channel if this is the first time you found my channel. And you're like, this guy just bought a Batman so he could complain. No. I swear to you, I do a whole bunch of positive toy videos just looking to expand my collection and talk about collecting in general. I'm not interested in a bunch of that, which is the reason the video now, we're going to go ahead and bring it to an end. Because I have added, to put this into perspective, I have added first appearance Batman to the shelf. He's not leaving the shelf. That's only happened with one figure. One figure that we've ever opened here so far on this channel have I ever opened and then immediately gone, no, I will not add this figure to the shelf. And that was the D&D figure, the fighter girl. We tried to add her to the shelf. That figure is not good. She does not go on the shelf. This figure is okay. And to be fair, it's replacing a figure that I flat out don't like. So in the long run, that actually makes it a decent figure. Not great by any means, and someday I hope to replace it with something that is exactly what I want. But for right now, it's an alright placeholder. And I get to add another one of these to the shelf, which is like, hey, no complaints at all there. See you later, guys.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.